Oh, hey, good morning, everybody. You're watching Rebel Roundup. It is Tuesday. I'm your host, Sheila Gunn Reid, and she's back. She's beautiful. She's raring to go. It's my real life best friend from Regina, Saskatchewan, Lise Merle. Lise, how's it going?
Well, it couldn't be better, Sheila Gunn Reid. What an incredible time to be a woman journalist in Canada. Both you and I had situations just real recently that really shine a bright light on the kind of support we get in the public from a certain segment of liberal boomers.
Oh,
So,
I've never met one in the wild before. I live in a bubble, right? I'm from Fort Saskatchewan. So I
mhm,
never encounter the liberal boomers, but boy, I met one yesterday. I'll tell everybody what we're doing. Then I'll really give a brief Coles Notes version of what happened to me yesterday. There's more coming out later on, I think, in the day, maybe tomorrow morning.
mhm,
But I'll tell everybody what we're doing, and I just want to let you know if you are want to chat with us via chats, and I'll explain
mhm.
those in a second. Get them in early because I have to close my laptop right at 12 and run out the door. So if you're watching us on Rumble, excellent free speech platform. If you want to get involved in the show, have your say. Give me some moral support after encountering a boomer in the wild yesterday and a liberal boomer. Don't send me those emails. You can leave a Rumble rant. That's their paid chat over there. If it's over the $5 US cutoff, it's obligatory. Sheila's reading it on air. If it's under that, we'll do our very best to get to it, time permitting. If you're watching us on YouTube, where nearly 2 million sets of eyeballs are on us just about every single day, you can leave a super chat. That's their paid chat, or a super thanks. That's their paid comment. Okay. I'll tell you, I was starting to explain the story to Lise before Olivia made us go live. But yesterday I was out with the Fire Matt Genero billboard truck. You
Yes.
can sign the petition or donate to my next caper, which I mean, I've got all kinds of things,
Mm,
schemes planned
we got
if
we
you
got
donate.
we've got plans in the works, guys. Okay,
Yeah,
we've got plans in the works.
right. It's just a money thing. So if you want to help me, you can donate and sign the petition at firematt.com. 23,000 of you already
Yeah.
signed my petition. So yesterday I was out with the billboard truck. We're tootling around his riding. It was bitterly cold, so like, and snowing, as you can see. It's hard to
Oh,
tell in,
look at this beast.
yeah,
Incredible. That's his
that's his
office.
office.
Okay.
Okay, so and like you could see, snowstorm, bitterly cold, not a ton of people out on the
Mhm.
street. If I wasn't paid to do it, I probably wouldn't have been there. Well, I would have been there with the truck, but I would have stayed indoors if it wasn't my job.
Right.
Um, so I met a very nice couple who felt very betrayed by Matt. In fact, they stopped me in their vehicle and then they came back to talk to me again after they came out of their appointment. And then something happened to me that has never happened to me because I think I exist in a bubble in rural Alberta. I avoid Edmonton at all costs, I should have you know.
Yeah.
And it's not because there aren't nice people there, but it is, as Ralph Klein once said, a wonderful city with too many socialists and mosquitoes. And I ran into a real life Toronto style boomer, a
Oh,
liberal boomer.
oh,
So there's some footage of it. I don't know how much of it will include because admittedly, I wasn't in the most Christian of mindsets at the time. It was really cold. My equipment kept dying. My nose was running. My hands were freezing. I'm just trying to set up my tripod. And this jackwagon rolls up, curses me in a drive-by slur, and
oh.
then realizes that he's got to stop his vehicle and let his teenage daughter out to go into the building for an appointment.
I
And I
beg your
was like,
pardon.
yeah. So, and I was like, what kind of jackwagon does that to his daughter? Like insults a woman and then makes her do the walk of shame past me. So,
Oh,
but she gets out and then calls me the B word. And I was
oh,
like, 11 seconds ago, I felt bad for you because I thought your dad just did something really embarrassing.
you're
But you
kidding.
call me the B word. So I flip on my camera. I'm like, what did you just call me? I called you the B word. I'm trying to be, she said it, the real
Mhm.
word to
Yeah,
my face.
obviously. Yeah.
And I'm like, why did you say that? She's like, oh, well, you insulted my dad. I'm like, no, I didn't. He rolled down the window and cursed
I
me
was I
out
was minding my own business, doing
completely.
the job I came here to do, and your dad confronted me. This is always what they do, Sheila Gunn Reid. I had a boomer recently call the RCMP on me for being parked in a tourist parking lot. You guys, I pulled my ID, ran my plates, interrogated me in a tourist parking lot. Boomers are out of control in this place.
And again, if you voted conservative, we're not talking about you. You've got a special name for you. You're bloomers.
You're our bloomers.
Voting boomers. We love you.
Yes.
But this guy was deranged. And then he realized there's no parking. So then he's going to drive around.
Oh, that is the best, Sheila Gunn Reid. That is.
So then I went up to him. I'm like, "Are you crazy? What is wrong with you leaving your daughter to deal with the aftermath of cursing me out?" And he's like, "Well, she's an adult. I would never do that to my kid."
Oh,
and then he's like,
word.
"And what do you even care? Pierre Polyev crossed the floor." I'm like, running in a different riding isn't crossing the floor.
What is he talking about?
So low info. And then he's like, "Well, Danielle Smith crossed the floor." I'm like, "Yeah, but then she did win a seat in a by-election."
That's right.
She was unelected.
She earned it back. She earned it back. She learned from that. It's wow, Sheila Gunn
Anyways,
Reid.
that's when we decide, well, we being me and the driver, because I'm working alone. I don't have a videographer in Edmonton. So I'm like, that's enough of the public for me. Let's take the truck to CTV, Global News, Edmonton Journal.
I love this so much.
And then CBC. And I'm like, well, maybe they'll find it newsworthy that 23,000 people signed this petition, and we cut laps with the truck through the downtown Edmonton traffic just to make sure that everybody saw. And then as I'm leaving the CBC office, active drug overdose right in front of me in a bus stop. Now, the police were it's downtown Edmonton. The police were obviously on their way. But I was like, this is exactly what the people of Matt Genero's riding voted for less of.
Right.
This is it. Behold, they voted for less of this. And he hasn't been in his office in 4 months. In fact, I went up to his office and just to see if he maybe changed the sign on the door or something. He hadn't. It's still by appointment only, which I guess is necessary since you have to book a flight to get back to your constituency office, Matt Genero. So anyway, I've got more planned for him. Even though it was bitterly cold and people would rather run to and fro their vehicles and buildings than talk to me, I feel like yesterday was a success. And I met a real life liberal voting boomer, which was jarring, but I think a necessary experience for me.
Yeah, it truly is. And one that Canadians need to know about. This is the kind of abuse that we're subjected to every time we go out in public. Every single time, guys. So your support is really, really appreciated.
I was like, "You're crazy." I told that guy, I'm like, "You're crazy. What is wrong with you?" Because he couldn't find a parking spot. Idiot. Anyway, let's get into the news of the day now that we're updated with my adventures yesterday.
I can't wait to see. Well, I can't wait to see the story, and I just can't wait to see it. Look forward, guys. We're all looking forward to
drug overdose right across the street from the CBC office. I'm like, this is Canada, Canada in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to news of the day. Prime Minister Mark Carney announces $2 billion in aid to Ukraine, including 400 armored vehicles. $2 billion. Let's watch.
A meeting this morning, very early this morning, of the Coalition of the Willing I participated in, including President Zelensky, chaired by President Macron, pardon me, and Prime Minister Starmer. Several things to take from that. First, as I said just at the end, Russia is failing to achieve all of its objectives 4 years into this conflict, 12 years if you include its annexation, its illegal annexation of Crimea. But 4 years on, Russia is failing militarily, strategically, and economically. And we are in it for the long term. Canada and the coalition of the willing. And to that end, we will announce shortly, I'm going to announce now, I guess, that we are tightening sanctions, including on the shadow fleet, additional 100 vessels in Russia's shadow fleet. This is the fleet that effectively facilitates illegal exports of crude oil. So we're tightening that lifeblood from the Russian economy, along with our allies. Also, additional financial sanctions, a lowering of the oil price cap in coordination with the EU and the United Kingdom. In addition, $2 billion of additional aid, military aid for Ukraine over the course of the next year. We're announcing that today. The Minister of National Defense will give details. And in addition to that, something Ukraine needs, which is 400 armored vehicles. We'll be supplying those in kind. I would note as well, I didn't mention this in French, but we are the third largest contributor to the Pearl air defense system
We can't afford this.
that is coordinated by NATO. So Canada stands with Ukraine. The Coalition of the Willing stands with Ukraine. We're in it for the long haul. Russia is failing. The sooner they come to the table and actually participate in peace negotiations, the better it will be for them.
People are using food banks in this country. What are we doing?
We have tent cities in every urban center in this country. What are we doing? $2 billion over 1 year, plus the cost of 400 armored vehicles that are going to be supplied in kind. We're not going to get that investment back. We can't afford this, Canada. And yet, this is our problem, because Mark Carney walked into a threesome with Macron and Starmer to defend their little friend Zelensky. This is insane.
This war doesn't end until the money dries up. Like, does anybody understand that? Like, I'm anti-invasion. I am. Don't get me wrong. I'm pro-sovereignty. I'm a Western separatist. But this doesn't end until the money dries up. This will go on forever. This is a Cold War at this point. And they're just throwing bodies on the bonfire.
Mm-hmm. They sure are.
And
they sure are. They're not sending their children. They're not sending their children. They're not spending their money. They lose nothing in supporting this Team Ukraine approach.
But we have tampons in the men's room at the military bases. So that's what our military gets. Anyway. All right. Now, don't get me wrong. I am fully convinced that AI does drive people crazy. I'm scared of it. Like you wouldn't believe. I don't want to feed the machine. I don't, because I don't want to be a participant in the thing that will make us all obsolete. And as I said, I do believe that AI drives people crazy.
I do too. Yeah.
But it is not the only problem with the Tumbler Ridge shooting. There are a lot of battlefronts on the Tumbler Ridge shooting, and the trans industry, coupled with the education system, DEI nonsense plus AI, converged on this one small town. But the government knows exactly who the bad guy is, and I guess it's ChatGPT. AI Minister Evan Solomon is open to regulating AI chatbots after reports that OpenAI staff didn't alert the RCMP to disturbing messages from the Tumbler Ridge mass shooter.
Oh, that's a shot.
Oh, Sheila. Anyways, let's listen to this, and then I've got some takes.
This is giving Doug Ford energy.
Hi, everyone. I want to give some response to the very disturbing media reports in the wake of the tragedy in Tumbler Ridge. I was deeply disturbed by these reports. Obviously, our hearts go to the families in Tumbler Ridge and the families and the communities in this ongoing tragedy. And those reports were deeply disturbing. The report saying that OpenAI did not contact law enforcement in a timely manner. When I read those reports, I immediately contacted OpenAI to get an explanation about the situation. On Sunday morning, my team met with members of OpenAI as well, and then I have summoned the senior safety team from OpenAI in the United States to come here to Ottawa. They will come here tomorrow, and we will have a sit-down meeting to have an explanation of their safety protocols and when they escalate and their thresholds of escalation to police, so we have a better understanding of what's happening and what they do. I'm working closely with my colleagues in Justice, Public Safety, and Heritage on this. I'm also working closely with my colleagues in British Columbia as we examine this. Obviously, the details of the case, it's an ongoing investigation, but I'm happy to give you more information from OpenAI when they come here on Tuesday from the United States to give us a deeper understanding of exactly how such a situation could occur.
Minister, is there anything in law that requires these companies to report anything to law enforcement or the government? And if not, will that be something that plays out as part of the privacy legislation you're working on or online harms?
Canadians expect, first of all, that their children particularly and are kept safe and that these organizations act in a responsible manner. And I'm going to working closely with Public Safety, the Justice Minister and Heritage Minister, and the bill on privacy and data that we have forthcoming to make sure that Canadians are kept safe. I will tell you this, all options are on the table.
Do you have any reticence about regulating AI chatbots at all?
All options are on the table. We have to hear from OpenAI and their protocols. We have to hear their safety protocols. We have to hear their escalation thresholds, and we are going to get more details on that. But again, all options are on the table.
Evan, the RCMP had dozens of points of contact with this family and with this child. And yet you would be like, well, those weren't red flags. That was just community engagement.
They gave the guns back. They gave the guns back. If ChatGPT had contacted the RCMP, what then would the RCMP have done?
You know what they would have done?
Nothing.
They would have exactly. They would have forgiven him and blown it off as some sort of oh well, he's just having problems. He's just disturbed. He's just a kid that, when at the root of this was a deeply, deeply in crisis family. That none of the people that Evan Solomon just quoted there, the Department of Justice, the Department of Heritage, they're calling in ChatGPT. Bro, this is all on you. All on you. Like the way that the Liberals abdicate, like absolutely unencumber themselves from any responsibility for this is staggering. It is staggering.
Yeah, you know what? Instead of calling in ChatGPT, who didn't alert the RCMP soon enough, sounds like they did actually alert the RCMP, just not soon enough, according to Evan Solomon. Maybe he should call in the RCMP and ask why you had so many points of contact with this family, but you still gave the guns back. Why aren't we talking about that?
This kid with a documented internet history saying more deeply disturbing things. And nobody ever rang a bell on that, because
he tried to burn the house down on mushrooms.
Insanity. This is an upside down world.
You know who else he should be calling in? The education system.
Oh, I want to know everything about this kid's experience in schools, in
the social transitioning at school. You know who else you should be calling in? Their family GP. Anybody who prescribed this kid cross-sex hormones or SSRIs. Why are we trying to pin the blame on ChatGPT, who, you know what? ChatGPT does do bad things. If you are a mentally ill person, why are you turning to ChatGPT? I get it.
I have a perfect example of this coming up right after we talk about this topic. But it does. AI and social media are contributing to the rapid degradation of the well-being of children. We all know this, but holding ChatGPT accountable? Absolutely not. The liberals in the government of Canada have blood on their hands, and yet they would deny it. They would deny it. They would gaslight us into thinking that this was just a series of unrelated, unfortunate events.
It was ChatGPT solely, is what the Liberals would have you believe, and not their progressive gender wang madness and an RCMP that gave the guns back after a gazillion points of contact and a mushroom-related arson. Are we crazy?
Yes. In a nutshell, yes, Canada is on fire and insane, psychopathic.
Also, some deep issues in that family. The Tumbler Ridge shooter's brother was arrested in Alberta after a warrant was issued
I saw that. Yeah.
for attempted murder.
Oh, I did not see that. Oh,
Yeah. The older brother of the Tumbler Ridge shooter has been arrested in, I think it was Sylvan Lake, after being wanted on a Canada-wide warrant for attempted murder. Police said that at the time of his arrest, Van Rootselaar had brass knuckles on him, now faces 2 new weapons offenses and 5 new offenses for breaching. Oh, of course, he was out on conditions. Breaching previously conditions. He was out on conditions for attempted murder and breaking and entering in Fort McMurray in 2024.
Oh.
But then Global News has to Global News itself. Van Rootselaar is the older brother of Jesse Van Rootselaar, not Jesse Strang, who shot and killed 8 people, including her mother and half-brother in Tumbler Ridge, BC on February.
The shooter was a man. We're just gonna fact check Global News here. This is from Global. Yeah, that the shooter was a man. He was a man. He was still a man. He's a biological man. He's male.
Yeah.
And yet they assign him female pronouns.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and
just disgusting.
To his credit, the father, the biological father of Jesse Strang, refers to him by his male pronouns. So even though Global, like, this is a wild paragraph, her father, Justin Van Rootselaar, issued a statement last week saying in part, "As the biological father of the individual responsible, I carry a sorrow that is difficult to put into words. I was estranged from Jesse Strang and was not part of his life. His mother declined my involvement from the very beginning, and I was not given the opportunity to be part of raising him."
Parental alienation is such a huge part of what's happening to families when they have like, you know, a deeply affirming mother, you know, the no space for hate mother, the one that would cheerlead their kids through this, and then alienate the dad, push him as far away as possible, and then this happens.
Yeah.
I feel for the guy. I can't help but feel for the guy. I've heard from on a weekly basis, I hear from dads whose families have been decimated by radical gender in one way or another, and they all start the same way. They say, I've never told anybody this. And then they tell me their story, and it follows such a familiar path, I cannot tell you. Their child was socially transitioned at school, made this profession to the family, absolutely throws dynamite into the center of a family. It is so destructive. It is really harming men. This is really harming men.
Yeah, dads matter. Remind me after we're done to tell you the story of a family I ran into in Edmonton.
Okay.
That I know personally, and I was shocked to hear what had happened to their child.
It is wild. It is wild what is happening in this country.
I've known this child since she was 5. I was just blown away, and they're such a good family. Like, they're just, mom stayed home,
and they get thrown into chaos.
Yeah.
Their family gets absolutely thrown into chaos. This is no joke. Canada families are bearing the weight of the world on this topic, and it's real important that we uphold them, that we uphold families through this. Sheila, call me after the show and tell me about it, okay? Because I have a story to tell you too, related.
I know. Here's a post from you. You're responding to Pierre Poilievre.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for it to load. So Poilievre tweets, and this is about
Barry Neufeld.
Barry Neufeld, who I read, by the way, the court decision, and it was
the tribunal.
The
decision?
tribunal decision.
Okay.
And it was one of Poilievre is right. One of the most Orwellian pieces of garbage I have ever read in my entire life.
Yes.
They basically said that Barry Neufeld denied the existence of certain people, and because of that, he should be punished. He doesn't deny that people exist. He denies their flawed reality, and he's allowed to do that.
He denies that Yeah, he denies that radical gender is good for kids. And he's right.
Yes.
He's right to deny that. He's been right all the way along.
Yeah. $750,000, $750,000.
Yeah.
Can't even see who he's actually tangibly harmed.
Well,
here.
he hasn't because it was the British Columbia Teachers Federation
Yeah.
that has been advancing this and attacking an over 80-year-old man for 8 years. He's been shouldering this by himself. So Polyev puts out a statement many days after the fact. Like, this statement took a long time. So he says, this is insane and Orwellian. Governments and kangaroo courts now chill freedom of expression instead of fighting crime, censoring people who dare to speak their minds. Just ask the BC school board trustee who got slapped with a $750,000 fine for saying that there are two genders. Enough is enough. We must defend the truth and free speech against these mad censors. Sign here to support free speech. And then they put a link. Okay, so I was like, okay, well, this is a great start. This is a great start. I like this. But we just must
better late than never, I guess.
Better late than ugly is what I always say. So I responded with this. Olivia, can you? Yeah. So I said, say you'll repeal gender identity and expression from the Canadian Human Rights Code. Say you'll send the monsters who transition Canada's children to jail. Say you'll remove sex rejecting surgeries out of the healthcare queue, and you'll win.
Yes.
Once. And tagged him. So this did kind of okay on X, just in terms of being a real niche
engagement.
topic.
Yeah.
Yep. It was beautiful. People are agreeing with me. But just hearkening back to that last story with ChatGPT and trans activists, Olivia, can you bring that back up and scroll down to the bottom for the comments? I want you to focus on this comment from it, go all the way down to the bottom. There's a ton. Sorry. Keep going. Yeah. Oh, there we go. So this is from a trans activist, and this tweet is back to me. Okay.
Okay, but wait, look at the name. Anti-natalism. If you needed to know that these people were evil, they're anti-baby.
Okay. So this trans activist says that I'm a piece of shit and deserve to have my legs pulled off. You guys just So immediately upon reading this, I vomited, because this is the level of discourse in Canada right now, where trans activists can say this to woman journalists, to mothers, to women, to lesbians. So pay attention to that first sentence then. Now, all of this is ChatGPT, you guys, okay? All of this, the rest is ChatGPT. So scroll down, Olivia. It goes on and on and on. So this is an AI prompted chatbot that this guy has loaded, but then he adds his own addendum at the end. Keep going all the way to the bottom. This is all ChatGPT bullshit. Excuse my language. People like you actually, in caps, deserve to have your legs pulled off by wild ass horses. This is what mothers have to contend with. This is what trans rights activists do. And yet, Evan Solomon would not chase down this guy to question him about the things that he said. What he would do is hold ChatGPT. Why would you let this guy put? That's not the ChatGPT stuff. Absolutely disregard it. Like, absolutely disregard it. It's what they say before and after.
Yeah.
And the way that they're influenced by it. Yeah. So there we go, Canada. That's where we're at. Excuse me. Pardon.
And you know what? In Carney's Canada, who's the bad guy? Barry Neufeld, for saying there's two genders, and not this anti-baby crazy person. Violent like, who imagines that sort of stuff?
Well, I can tell you that I've never
sick mind that imagines a crucifixion.
I can tell you that I've never considered that thought ever in my life until I read that, and then I did consider it, and I vomited. So that's the kind of sick world we're having to live in right now, Canada. We must dial this back. Absolutely. End it. And Polyev, now is the time.
Yep. Let's hit an ad break and allow you a chance to vape your nerves.
Thanks.
And come back on the other side.
Okay.
Hello everyone, Tamara Leach here with Rebel News, and I am thrilled to announce that I am heading out on tour to talk about all things Alberta independence with two of my favorite authors and journalists, Sheila Gunn Reid and Corey Morgan. We are doing 9 cities across the province of Alberta to talk about all things Alberta independence. You can expect live presentations from each of us, a panel discussion on independence, a Q&A, as well as a book signing and meet and greet following each of the events. For more information, to pick up your ticket, or to find out if we'll be coming to your community, you can visit independencetour.com. That's independencetour.com. Looking forward to getting out there and seeing all of you.
You like the hat? Me too. Same strong message about making Canada great again, but in a really cool color, black and gold. There's other colors available, and it's an all-Canadian site. So if you want to signal your tribe or trigger a Liberal, go to mcgahats.ca today.
Gun bans make great distractions.
Trudeau may be gone, but Carney has picked up his same
We
rhetoric.
will quickly, and I mean quickly, reinvigorate the buyback of
Hunters, collectors, competitors, and defenders of tradition are still being targeted, while criminals run wild under Liberal policy. But we are fighting back. Join us, Canada's National Firearms Association, in defense of freedom.
How much longer is Alberta supposed to bankroll Ottawa's failures? How much longer are we going to be told to shut up and pay? Equalization, energy blockades, federal overreach. It's enough. Rebel News is taking the fight on the road with the Alberta Independence Tour. Live, in-person events all across the province, featuring me, Sheila Gunn Reid, Freedom Convoy leader Tamara Leach, and Western Standard's own Corey Morgan. No censorship, no mainstream media spin, just hard facts and a real debate and conversation about Alberta's future. Seats are limited, cities will sell out. If you care about this province, it's time to get off the sidelines. Go to independencetour.com right now, grab your ticket before they're gone. This is Alberta's moment. Be in the room. Again, that's independencetour.com. All right, before we get back into the show, we've got to pay the bills, and we do that with the help of our friends at Rumble Wallet. They can freeze your accounts, shut off your cards, lock you out of your own money overnight. Banks don't protect you, they control you. That's why real financial freedom starts with ownership. Introducing Rumble Wallet, a non-custodial wallet built for people who refuse to give up control. With Rumble Wallet, you don't just buy digital currency like Bitcoin and Tether. You can own Tether Gold, real gold on the blockchain. Through Tether Gold, you get direct ownership of physical gold bars, each one fully allocated, verifiable by serial number, purity, and weight. This isn't paper gold. This isn't an IOU. This is real gold without bank vault, storage fees, or gatekeepers. You can buy, sell, or move it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even when traditional gold markets are closed. And if you want, Tether Gold can be redeemed for physical gold. That's power. And when you support creators on Rumble, you can tip them directly using Rumble Wallet, peer-to-peer, and outside the banking system. No permissions, no middlemen, no cancel buttons. This wallet is yours forever. All right. Let's get into Gary Anandasangri, Canada's public safety minister, chief gun grabber, guy who knows absolutely nothing about firearms legislation, but he knows who the criminals are. Apparently it's me, according to my email from the RCMP yesterday.
No.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing. The RCMP couldn't deal with the Tumbler Ridge shooter, but they can pester me over email incessantly over firearms I may or may not have anymore. You know?
Yeah.
Anyways, Gary Anandasangri, he's not the immigration minister, but he says that our immigration system is the best. Bestest ever. You can't even believe how good it is. You can't even get enough of it. It's the best. You won't even believe it. Okay. And then we've got Michelle Rempel actually telling him how terrible it is in another clip. So let's watch this. Remember, he's not the immigration minister. He doesn't know anything about this. He doesn't even know anything about his own portfolio, but it's the best you've ever seen.
Merci pour la question, Mr. Speaker. Let me be very clear. Canada has one of the most robust immigration refugee protection system in the world. The Immigration Refugee Board is the gold standard by which adjudication are made towards refugee protection. As a country that is a signatory to the Refugee Convention of 1951, it's important that we have full faith in our system, Mr. Speaker. The IRB does adjudicate and ensures that those who are inadmissible, those who are ineligible to seek asylum, do not go forward, and those who are deemed to be clear refugees do get asylum, Mr.
Okay. We could only wish for 1951. Isn't it great that we're following rules from 1951 in 2026, you guys? Like, you think the world has changed a little, Gary, in those
We're not
intervening
taking
decades?
Korean War refugees anymore. Like, what is wrong with you?
Vietnamese boat people aren't being... The world has changed, Gary. The world has changed. And talk about tone deaf. This is one of the most pressing issues for Canadians because they've identified correctly that our massive increase in immigration has stressed our availability to buy affordable homes, to access healthcare, to allow our kids to get good educations. Immigration has negatively impacted all of those things. And yeah, Gary's like, oh, nobody does it better than us since 1951. Oh my God.
It takes like up to 2.5 years for your intake interview once you fraudulently claim asylum when you come into the country as a temporary foreign worker, and then it's years post that before you end up like with your review.
Well, and think of what the government has done in blowing open the door to LGBTQ refugees from the United States. They rolled out a red carpet for those guys. They come into Canada, they claim refugee status or asylum status. They get $80,000 a year just to exist in Canada and get access to our already overstressed healthcare system. That's what Gary is saying. Oh, we're doing just the best job. Aren't you, Gary? Aren't you?
Right.
Well, 80-year-old Canadians rot in hospital hallways without care. This is what they're prioritizing, the Liberals.
I'm a refugee. They won't let me play against girls. Like, we're not a real country.
We're not a real country. I'm an octogenarian and I have a bad hip. Here's MAID.
Right.
They offered me MAID.
Right. I have seasonal depression. Well, off to the suicide den for you. Like, this is crazy.
It is upside down world.
We've got this video from Michelle Rempel, if you wouldn't mind, Olivia. She says, she talks about the cost over just a few short years to deal with the asylum backlogs for Gary Anand Sangri's gold standard, best ever, best in the world. You've never even seen an immigration system so good. Canadian immigration system. Rempel will break it down for us.
Let's go.
Debunk some of the spin that the Liberals are using to defend the indefensible practice of giving failed asylum claimants better access to health care than Canadian taxpayers and providing two-tiered justice for non-citizens convicted of serious crimes. Let's start with health care benefits for failed asylum claimants. For starters, under the Liberals, the Interim Federal Health Program, the program that provides benefits to asylum claimants, has morphed well beyond its initial intent of providing care to a small number of legitimate refugees who are fleeing to Canada from war zones into a massive boondoggle that provides care to bogus asylum claimants. The cost of the program has ballooned too. Conservatives uncovered that under the Liberals, the overall cost of the Interim Federal Health Program has skyrocketed by over 1,000%, from $66 million to nearly $900 million a year, and it's projected to reach $1.5 billion a year. In fact, the Liberals have mismanaged the program so badly that they didn't give data to the Parliamentary Budget Officer on costs broken down by category. And right now, Liberals on the Health Committee are currently filibustering a motion that would ensure the government provides the PBO with this data. That's because, contrary to the Liberals' claims, Canada's asylum backlog has gotten worse. In fact, it hit a record 300,000 cases in December 2025, and massive numbers of people in that backlog will be found to have made bogus claims. This is no accident. It results directly from Liberal failures like lifting visa requirements on countries like Mexico with no safeguards to prevent bogus claims. and refusing to tighten border laws to stop illegal crossings and fraudulent asylum applications. Further, Conservative Order Paper Question number 556, for those of you who want to look at this, asked how many failed asylum claimants remain in Canada since 2020 alone. To give you a sense of the scope of the problem of the government giving health benefits to failed asylum claimants, the data in this order paper question showed that adding up the Refugee Protection Division and Refugee Appeal Division decisions shows that 86% of rejected claimants during this time period remain in Canada, or about 86,000 people. This aligns with recent government data showing that of at least 500,000 undocumented individuals in Canada, plus millions of people on expired or soon-to-expire work and other temporary permits, and thousands of failed asylum claimants, the Liberals oversaw the removal of only about 22,000 people last year. The government lacks both the operational capacity and the political will to accelerate deportations of non-citizens with no legal right to remain. So instead of removing them from Canada, they're providing better access to health care to failed asylum claimants than to Canadians. That is unfair, both to Canadians who have paid into the system their whole lives, as well as legitimate refugees. At a time when 6 million Canadians can't even find a family doctor and wait times to see a specialist have hit nearly 30 weeks, and nearly 24,000 Canadians died on wait lists in 2024-25, not a single non-citizen without a legal reason to be in Canada should receive better health care than Canadian citizens. Rejected asylum claimants should be removed from Canada instead. During the time that they are awaiting removal, which should be far faster than the pace the Liberals are currently on, their health benefits should be restricted to emergency life-saving care.
Yes, girl, all day, every day. You shouldn't be able to walk into Canada and get breast implants if you're a trans guy from the United States, and yet that's what's happening here. Actual women can't get breast health care in Canada. Right. And yet we are inviting LGBTQIA refugees from the United States to gobble up those resources. And the Liberals are doing nothing. And you know, she said something in there, Sheila Gunn Reid, and tell me if you caught this. She mentioned Mexico specifically.
Cartel members. I wrote it down, cartel members from Mexico.
Girl, right here in the little notepad, cartel members from Mexico, because all of a sudden they would have a great big amount of pressure coming from the United States and the Mexican military, and they need somewhere to go. Well, guess who has an open door policy? Canada.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes. 86% of people deemed fit for deportation remain within our borders.
300,000 person backlog. These are people who are not being vetted. These are people who are not being scrutinized. These are people that are here already.
And she cited other numbers of people who just come here and who have disappeared. So that's just the asylum claimant system. Then she says, like, there's 500,000, I think, people just came here on a temporary work visa evaporated, and they just stayed, or came here as students and they just stayed.
Imagine the cost to the Canadian taxpayer to support that many immigrants that should not be here. Imagine. It's staggering. It's staggering.
Well, and this is why ICE has that one-time payment if you self-deport. I love the ICE social medias. And this is what they have. Leave on your own terms with $2,600 and a free flight for you and your family. You self-deport. There's an app. You sign yourself up to self-deport. They give you the money. You get on the flight. You go back where you came from. Or they can come and arrest you like a dirtbag and haul you off to cells.
Right.
Yeah, there's the app. You just go, you download it, you set up your appointment to self-deport. They give you a teddy bear, you got money, you go on a nice flight home.
Oh, look at all the languages. Yeah, and it's in all of like the languages from their home countries. What is this? This is Spanish and something and something and something. I don't know what those other languages are. If somebody in the chat could help me out. My goodness, just like download the deportation app.
Yeah.
Just go home. Just 1-800-GO-HOME.
For free. They send you back on a really nice flight. Otherwise, you're going up those stairs to the airplane in shackles. I also love those photos too. But I do like seeing them like, here's your teddy bear. Here's your money. Bye.
It's actually
because it's cheaper.
Well, of course it is. Instead of deploying all of the resources behind going and having to catch these people, I mean, it's a practical plan. We should do that
Yes.
in the new country. Oh, we will.
Let's go to Doug Ford being Doug Ford.
Mm.
He says that every single Canadian is cheering on the Democrats today. Again, who made him the foreign affairs minister? Who did? Let's watch this clip. He went on CNN too to say it. So, I mean, I guess if you're gonna I don't know, put your lips on a Democrat's butt cheeks, that's the place to do it. Let's watch.
And there's going to be the midterms. I've never seen so many Canadians all cheering on the Democrats. And there's, I think there's 33 Senate seats up for grabs. 20 of them are Republican. But we saw what happened in Congress. We saw what happened in the Supreme Court. The walls are closing in, I believe, on President Trump right now, and he's feeling the pressure. So a lot of these jobs are border states that are being affected, and he needs those seats. So if it continues on, people are gonna be unemployed, and which will affect the midterms. And it's gonna be the midterms. I've never seen so many Canadians all cheering on.
That's good.
We're fact checking false. Okay, Trump, we are fact checking this false. This is absolutely untrue. Nobody that I know is cheering for the Democrats in any way possible. Absolutely not. Doug does know how destructive it will be if the Democrats get elected again. Like, they just dodged a bullet not electing Kamala Harris. Like, they could do a lot of damage. No, we're not cheering for the Democrats in the United States, Doug.
I'm not cheering for the Democrats who hate oil and gas from Alberta and who block our pipelines. I'm not. I'm cheering for low unemployment for our American friends. I'm cheering for a reclamation of their culture, for these ICE deportations. I'm cheering for that. I'm not cheering for the Democrats.
I'm not cheering for the people that put men in women's prisons. Okay? I'm not doing that. That's the line that I just will not cross, and that's what the Democrats did.
The thing is, we could have those things too, because I'm cheering for those things for Canadians as well, but the East keeps electing Mark Carney.
Yeah.
And also
Transhausen dad.
It shows exactly. And it shows you where these Toronto boomer types like Doug Ford, where they think Canada stops.
Yep, exactly this. Exactly this. In their Eastern bubble, just never out of the echo chamber.
Yeah.
Well, it says a lot. It says a lot that he would speak on our behalf like that when it is absolutely demonstrably untrue.
Right.
Doug.
We've got Canadians.
Oh, speaking of Doug Ford, look at my flag here. Doug.
What is there? Oh, I remember when you sent him one.
This has been sort of kept under the radar but one time I sent Doug Ford a Saskatchewan flag because I felt like he needed to be reminded of who's boss.
Right. And a box of Kleenex. Scotty's
tissues. Sent it right to his constituency office. I love capitalism. You can send you can send anybody nearly anything on Amazon. Just send it right to their door. I'm going to send him a copy of my book, Buck the Rainbow Unicorn, next.
Yeah. And maybe Doug Ford thinks that Canada stops in Winnipeg, but Western Canadians love the United States.
Yeah.
So much so that many of us overwinter there, including Albertans who are lining up in Arizona to sign an independence petition.
This warmed my heart. Okay, this is Martha's Gardens in Yuma, Arizona. Shout out to Martha's Gardens on February 21st, just a couple days ago. These were the lineups of Albertans in Arizona to sign the petition to bring on the referendum. Just incredible. Look at these buttes. Look at them. And then you have the elbows up crowd, Sheila Gunn Reid, who were told that America was bad and that Orange Man bad and it was dangerous to go to the United States. They're all in Puerto Vallarta being held hostage by Mexican drug cartels. How'd that work out for them, Doug?
Yes. And I've seen a lot of the Forever Canada weirdos saying like, that's illegal, you can't do that. No, if the petition signer has been trained in following elections Alberta rules.
Yeah, the canvasser. Yeah, there's
canvasser,
rules.
the petition signature collector. And I've been to their little graduating classes. I laid eyes upon it. They're very strict about the things that they can and can't do, the places that they can and can't be. They're, worried about
they're dotting their
rules.
I's,
Oh, they
dotting
have
their I's and crossing their T's. They are taking they're jumping through every hoop. Listen, you need us to jump through hoops, we'll jump through them gladly. Yeah.
Because they know they're going to be subject to extra scrutiny. And why shouldn't these Albertans who happen to be somewhere else be able to put their name on a petition? If you are out of the country during an election, you can send in an absentee ballot.
Sure.
This is the same thing.
Yes. Yeah, but they all showed, like, I choose to believe that they just had the best afternoon. You know what I mean? They all exchanged numbers and there was a little Alberta.
Meeting Albertans, yeah.
Just, it would just, oh, you know what? That would be a good time. I would go to that place, Martha's.
Conservatives say the Liberals are gaslighting with clarifying language for contentious hate speech bill. I've seen, after pressure from our friend Andrew Lawton, formerly of Juno and now the Conservative MP, well-deserved, in London, Ontario. He's really, we went to his town hall in Saskatoon.
Oh, he's so good. He's just such a good boy. Yeah.
He's great. And he said, it's going to pass. All we can do is stall it out and hopefully ram some changes through, cause them to blink by exposing what's exactly in the bill. And he's been doing that. And I think he got them to blink a little, but he's also saying rightfully, don't trust them. Don't trust them. They're snakes. My words, not his.
Yep, because we all know that what the Liberals say and what they actually do are two totally different things. They lie. And he's rightfully shining a big bright light on this. Yeah. This has the potential to impact every Canadian in the worst possible, most censorious, most authoritarian way. And Andrew Lawton is doing a lot of heavy lifting to give Canadians a heads up.
Yeah. So for those people who don't know, C9 is their hate speech legislation. So that's their censorship legislation. And in Canada, there has always been a provision in our laws, and I can't even believe I'm saying this, but a provision in our laws that protects sincerely held religious beliefs. So if you are, let's say, a trad Catholic like myself, and your priest is giving the theology of the body, the traditional Catholic viewpoint on sex and human sexuality, that under the changes that the Bloc have requested to this legislation could criminalize the things that your priest says from the pulpit. And the Liberals agree to it because they need the Bloc's support to hang on to power in the House of Commons. If their support of the Bloc falls apart, then they go to an election. So since then, the meetings at the Justice Committee on this have been mysteriously canceled last minute by the Liberals.
So they're stonewalling it. They're stonewalling it. Yeah.
Because they don't know how to get it forward because the Conservatives are bringing up all these really valid concerns. They don't want that dirty laundry aired. So it's sort of basically filibustered thanks to the good work of Andrew Lawton. Now, the Liberals have proposed, as they say, an olive branch to Conservatives to add, quote, clarifying language to the bill that aims to address the concerns raised sincerely by faith groups.
No, we're clear that we don't
want any of this. I don't want the whole bill.
I don't. Goodbye. Yeah, we don't need any clarifying language. The Canadian public is saying, stop in your tracks and back up, you tyrants.
Yeah, I don't need you to give my priest permission to teach about the Orthodox Catholic worldview on sex and gender.
No.
He doesn't need to be permissed from the
No,
government to
and
do that.
this
bill needs to die.
Yeah, this is really interesting because it mentions public interest, including an educational, religious, political, or scientific statement made in the course of a discussion, publication, or debate, if they do not willfully promote hatred against an identifiable group by communicating the statement. So basically what they're saying is what happened to Barry Neufeld with his $750,000 fine could happen to you in any of these circumstances if you run afoul of what the libs say, specifically as it pertains to gender. I just want to put a real fine point on this, Canada, that the only people that are being prosecuted are people that are openly gender critical. And we should be allowed to be openly gender critical as especially as it pertains to women and men and families and the way that we protect our children. We must be gender critical in this moment. And no matter what happens, this must not be allowed to stand. Absolutely not.
Yep. Yeah, and who gets to decide what hatred is? The
Well,
liberals?
the liberals want to. That's the crazy thing. When they talk about being like using clarifying language, they're gonna try and whittle it down. And what it's gonna do is put everybody that has concerns about this in the crosshairs.
Yep. Okay, let's do the couple of chats, and then the cringe is the liberal boomers from Puerto Vallarta. I can't believe these people. All right, we've got Spaceman 007 has a Rebel News Plus membership.
Nice.
So welcome to the club. You get access to all of our paywalled stuff and even some special little behind the scenes stuff.
I highly recommend the documentaries. Okay, Rebel News documentaries are my favorite documentaries, bar none. So you're welcome.
Just saying that because I'm in them.
No,
but it helps.
No, because it sure opened my eyes, those documentaries. I love that long form stuff. Yeah,
me too. Next one, Light Y7Z gives us $2. Why are Canadian boomers looting in Mexico? Merci. We're gonna watch that in a second. Hang tight. And again, not the liberal, not the conservative boomers. I've encountered a liberal boomer for the first time in my life. It was very jarring, but I needed it. It's like when I watch the CBC just to make sure they're terrible still. Politicians never lie, $5.05. Loonie down 12% versus Mexican peso last year. Also down against the Indian rupee, Brazilian real, and 100 other currencies. Sacrifice, peons. Well, it'll also tank when we leave, so prepare yourselves for that. And Silver Feet 1280 gives us $10 and says, "Hi Lise, it's been too long. I missed you. To hell with the trans psychos. They are incapable of introspection. It's also sad Canada is part of the corruption of the willing." Lise needed that. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, let's watch, please, if you will, the liberal boomers looting a Mexican convenience store.
So these are people that were locked down for 1.5 days.
Right.
Let's go.
And still things like this for these people. No.
Mexicans are straightening them up.
Stop.
That's pathetic. Yeah.
So there's nobody minding the shop right now.
I live here. I've lived here 3 years.
Who cares?
I'm not
Canadian
gonna,
flag tote.
I'm not going to rob a place.
That's so embarrassing. And that's one too.
So obviously the shop is not being minded, or there's no transactions.
No police around.
And the locals are stopping the
broken.
Canadian boomers.
The locals are stopping the Canadian boomers who say, "Well, I've lived here forever." He's giving the right to loot the place.
Oh, is that
Although
an
that's
Irish
what they're doing
wolf?
for the future of the young.
Sorry. I got distracted by the dog. Let's go back to the oh, they put it back.
Shame works.
Shame works. Bring back public shaming.
That's gross.
Well, but this is par for the course for Canadians.
This is what they're doing to the young people's future. So of course they're going to do it to a Mexican convenience store.
Entitled Canadian boomers. These are your elbows up people, guys. These are the elbows up guys.
I ran into his brother in that parking lot.
What is an OXXO? Is it like a little a Mexican convenience store? It's like a little pharmacy or something like this, like going in there, helping them. So look at the Canadian flag bag.
The tote.
That is that
gruesome.
Wow. Good luck to those people and what happens to their reputations. Good luck. This is new elbows up boomer. Sorry, excuse me.
I can't even, like, they were shamed by the Mexican locals. And he tried to use the excuse, well, I live here. Okay, so that gives you the right to rob the place?
Right.
I guess that's how they feel about Canada. So
well, they would steal from their neighbors. They would steal from their neighbors. Guaranteed.
Their grandkids are stealing from their grandkids.
Yeah, guaranteed. Right? Guaranteed that guy is from Ontario. Yeah. I can't wait to find out because the internet will identify him. Okay, that is going to happen. And I'd be willing to bet you $5 that person is from Ontario. $5. Okay.
I would die if that were my mom or dad. Like, I would just die.
I mean, immediately to the care home. Immediately to the care home. That's it. They're demented. You see, they have the dementias. They're stealing.
They got the dementias.
They're saying crazy things.
Doing crazy things.
Touching the
crazy ways. All right, let's wrap the show. Lise, thanks so much for joining me. I'm sorry that the middle part of the show is a little rough on you, but I think it was important actually to show people what it's like being a gender critical woman out there when the gender wangers are just as violent as all get out.
Yeah. This is the reality that Canadian women face. And obviously, I appreciate your support, guys.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Olivia, thanks for putting the show together. Thanks for those of you who pitched in a little bit to keep the lights on here at Rebel News. Those of you who do the free thing of engaging with our content, because that really helps. Share it with a friend.
Share, subscribe.
Yeah. Consider subscribing. Get us up. Talk it over with your friends. Get us up to 2 million. See if it's right for you. Tomorrow is Wednesday, so Lise and I are back with the Buffalo panel on Western Wednesdays, where we talk about independence-related and Alberta-related things. I don't know who the panelists are, but it will be a banger, as always.
Always is.
Okay, let's wrap the show. As we always say on the show here, if you find us offensive, maybe don't find us at all, or in a parking lot. Don't yell at me. Alberta is at a crossroads. For years, I've heard the frustration. I've felt it too, but frustration doesn't build a country. Preparation does. In my new book, Independence Blueprint, What Alberta Can Learn from Quebec, I break down the hard mechanics of sovereignty, what we can learn from Quebec's 1995 referendum, the research that's already been done, and what would actually come next for a free Alberta. There's the constitutional process, currency, pensions, continuity of services, trade, resource control, Indigenous partnership, and international recognition. These aren't slogans. This isn't fantasy. These are just hard facts and serious preparation. Whether Alberta stays or goes, we need to understand the stakes. Head over to buy your copy today at independenceblueprint.ca. Let's be prepared, because